When your paycheck hits, it feels amazing. But before you can imagine too much, something happens. Rent comes in, your car payment comes in, your credit card balance comes in with a baseball bat asking about your kneecaps. Ruh-roh. And of course, Amazon is having yet another sale. Who could have seen this coming? So, you got paid on Friday, but by Monday, the whole thing is gone. Most people don't go broke because of one stupid financial decision. They go broke because every paycheck enters their account without any kind of plan or security. I'm going to show you the exact order that you should spend your paycheck in. Step 1, reality check. Your salary is not your money. Your hourly wage is not your money. Your gross pay is not your money. Your take-home pay is your money. The median salary in America is $64,000 a year. And that sounds pretty good. That's over $5,000 a month. But when the paycheck hits, it doesn't look like that. So before you make any plan, you need to find your real number, your actual take-home pay after taxes, benefits, and deductions. That is the number you need to build your life around. Step 2, survival bills. Before you invest, before you go out, before you decide to upgrade your phone, you need to cover the basics. And that's a rock fact. These are the expenses that keep your life functioning. Rent or mortgage, your electricity and water bill, basic groceries, gas and transportation, insurance, and your phone bill. This is the foundation. If these don't get paid, everything else gets harder. Imagine two versions of you. Version 1 gets paid, immediately buys concert tickets, goes out twice, orders food 4 times, then remembers that rent is due in 3 days. That version is now doing financial parkour. Version 2 gets paid, immediately sets aside rent, groceries, gas, and bills. That version might not feel rich, but they are safe. The goal is to make sure that your basic life is protected before your money starts partying. Step 3, minimum debt payments. Notice that I said minimum debt payments and not destroy all debt immediately. We'll talk about that later. Before we attack debt aggressively, we need to make sure that every required payment is paid on time. Credit cards, student loans, car loans, and personal loans that you might have. Anything where a missing payment can lead to fees or harm your credit score. This matters because payment history is one of the biggest parts of your credit score, and even one late payment can haunt your financial profile. And if you want to learn how to build your credit, you should watch the video in the description after this one. So when your paycheck hits, minimum payments are not optional. And once these are covered, we can talk about building your first wall. Step 4, starter emergency fund. This is your first real defense against life being annoying, because most of the time, emergencies aren't dramatic. They're just nuisances. It's not always that your kitchen just exploded. Sometimes it's just that you have a flat tire, your laptop dies, or your dog eats something expensive, your hours got cut, or your car sounds like it's about to explode anytime you turn it on. And if you don't have cash, every tiny emergency becomes debt. Your first goal is not necessarily 6 months of expenses right away. This can feel impossible to reach if you're new. Your first goal is just a starter emergency fund, something like 1 month of basic expenses. This is where a lot of people mess up because they want to invest immediately. But if you have zero emergency fund, your investments aren't really investments. They become the first thing that you have to sell when life decides to punch you. So first, build the wall. Step 5, employer match. If your job offers a retirement plan with a company match, you need to take advantage of it. This is one of the few times in personal finance when someone says free money and they aren't being incredibly sketchy. Here's the simple version. You put in money, your employer puts in money, and then future you gets to say, wow, that was a great idea. If you skip it, you're basically declining a part of your paycheck. Now, I would make sure that your survival bills are covered, your minimum debt payments are made, and you at least have a starter emergency fund. But once you're stable enough, getting that match is a high priority step, if your job offers it. Step 6, attack high interest debt. And this might be controversial to some people. Why wouldn't you do this first before investing at all? But note that the previous step was about getting your employer match, not necessarily maxing out your investment accounts. Back to step 6 though. Minimum payments help keep you alive, but extra payments help you escape. High interest debt, especially credit card debt, can absolutely destroy your progress. It's like trying to run up an escalator that's going down. You can still make progress, but if you stop or even just slow down, you can start to slide backwards. This is why it usually doesn't make sense to obsess over investing if you have credit card debt. Let's say you're carrying a credit card balance that keeps following you from month to month. At first, it feels manageable. Then you buy groceries on it, then gas, then a birthday gift, and then you tell yourself that you'll pay it off next month. Next month has car registration, dental work, and then December is here, and why not get your family a bunch of nice gifts? And suddenly, the balance isn't just a one-time thing. It sticks around, and you're paying interest on it. So, after your basics are safe and your starter emergency fund is underway, high-interest debt becomes a target. Because the longer it stays, the more of your future paychecks that it claims. Step 7. Sinking funds. A sinking fund is money you set aside for expenses that aren't emergencies, but you know are coming. Car maintenance isn't really an emergency if you own a car. It's expected. Sinking funds are how you stop predictable expenses from ambushing you. Here's how simple it is. If you know that you'll need $600 for car insurance in 6 months, don't let it creep up on you. Just save $100 a month and put it aside. That's it. This is where you start feeling responsible, because now fewer things are surprising you. You're prepared. Step 8. Build a full emergency fund. Once high interest debt is under control and sinking funds are doing their job, you can build your starter emergency fund into a full emergency fund. A common target is to have 6 months of expenses ready. And not 6 months of luxury expenses, but 6 months of the basics. Housing, food, utilities, transportation, the stuff that you would need to survive if your income stopped temporarily. And this can sound pretty overwhelming. If you're watching this video with $4 in your checking account, saving something like $15,000 might sound like me telling you to just go ahead and buy your second vacation home. But this isn't a one paycheck goal. It's a direction to work towards. A full emergency fund gives you options. It can help you leave a bad job, move if you need to, handle a medical issue, or avoid debt when life gets difficult. Money can't solve every problem, but it sure can solve a lot of them. Step 9. Investing. For most people, investing consistently over time is one of the best ways to build wealth, but the key word is consistently. The best investment plan isn't necessarily the one that looks best on a spreadsheet. For beginners, investing usually starts with boring, simple consistency. An employer retirement plan, a Roth or traditional IRA, broad, diversified funds, and automatic contributions. You're not going to become a master quant trader by next Thursday. Maybe the Thursday after that, but we'll see. The irony is that boring investing is often what works best. Invest every paycheck. Increase contributions when your income rises. And don't raid your account for random purchases. Give compound growth time to do its job. Step 10. Guilt-free spending. Because a good money plan isn't supposed to turn you into a financially optimized robot who eats lentils in the dark and refuses to attend birthday parties. You're allowed to enjoy life. Actually, you need to enjoy your life. Because if your plan is miserable, you'll start to hate it. So after the important jobs are funded, give yourself some spending money. Eat out with your friends. Enjoy some of your hobbies. Or buy a gift for your family. The difference is that now it has a boundary. You're covering what's important first and enjoying what's left on purpose. So how do you set this all up? You can actually do it in just a couple minutes. First, you need to find your real take-home pay. Then, write down your survival bills. List off all of the debt payments that you have to make. Pick a target for your starter emergency fund. Check to see if you have an employer match. Choose your sinking funds, automate transfers, and decide your guilt-free spending amount after everything else has been taken care of. Automation is important because motivation is unreliable. You're not going to wake up every payday the most disciplined version of yourself. So make the good decision automatic. The big idea is to separate your spending money from your bill money. Design the system so that future you has less to mess up. So when your next paycheck hits, don't ask, what can I buy? Ask, what does this money need to do? Give every dollar a job, and don't let DoorDash prevent you from retiring early.